This is MIcornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are continuing with this topic. We're speaking about how to become mentally strong as a young man. And we are dealing with part 4 today, and I hope that you learn out of this. And today, as we start off with this part 4, I want you to practice mindfulness. In order to become mentally strong, you need to practice mindfulness to stay present and to reduce stress as well. Because most of the time we are just so mindless and not mindful enough. And when you become mindful of what you do, and you become careful of what you do, and everything that you do, you think about it and apply your mind first and become mindful about it, then you become mentally strong. Because you will remember everything that you do, it would be because you've applied your mind. And remember that a mind or the brain need to be exercised, but it can only be exercised by being mindful all the time, by being thoughtful, being able to think deeply towards everything that you plan and do. So don't just do anything casually and something like you don't even think about it. Don't just talk and without thinking and everything that you do. So please be mindful of it. Be mindful of, if I do this, what will be the result of it? If I do this, what will be the impact of this towards myself or the people around me? So be mindful about, if I say this, what impact will it make? What will be the results? What will be the consequences of this as well? That's what we mean about being mindful. But mindfulness needs to be practiced, because it's something that sometimes we become casual in our thinking. Sometimes we do things unawares. Sometimes we relax in our minds and think things that we don't even think deeply about. But mindfulness is when you start to say, everything that I do, I'm going to really think deeply about it. And before I articulate it, I want to make sure that I interrogate it. Sorry about it. I interrogate it and come to a point where I really come to comfort of saying, yes, I can say this. Yes, I can do this because I've thought through it. So learn to think through things before you articulate them. Learn to think through things before you apply them, because that is what we call thoughtfulness. And practice that every time. Because what this will do, it will make you mentally strong. It will make you to always think. It will make you always be diverse in your thinking and unique in your thinking. It will make you to even think out of the box at all times. Because sometimes we actually don't think out of the box, and that is why we find it difficult to actually come out of situations that we're faced with, out of challenges, out of problems that we face. Sometimes we feel like that's a dead end. And the reason is because we haven't flexed our muscles of thinking. We haven't flexed our muscles of the mind, whereby we think out of the box, and therefore we practice mindfulness. And everything that we do, therefore, we've applied our minds, and therefore every time when challenges come, they don't overcome us because we are able to think out of the box. And that's what we mean out of this. And I want to also say that you need to set aside time for creative activities. Now, this is also the practice of mindfulness. It's actually ability to be creative in situations. And most of the time we become overwhelmed because what we think is only a linear way of thinking. We think in a certain way and in a certain pattern. And therefore, as we think in a certain pattern, we cannot think out of that, because we cannot actually overgrow what we're thinking. Now, I want to say that when you set a time to say, I want to be creative in my thinking. I want to think out of the box. I want to practice to think creatively. And in something that needs a conscious decision and a plan to sit and say, I'm going to do this. And to set time and say, I'm going to do this at least once a day. And I want to do this for this long, maybe 30 minutes and so on. And I want to apply my mind on creative thinking. Now remember that creative thinking stimulates the mind. And how do you do that? Sometimes Creative thinking may come through reading books, reading ways of how to approach things. And sometimes also, there are some games that are actually teaching creative thinking, like puzzles, for instance. Playing puzzles, and I encourage people sometimes to really have puzzles to play all the time, because what that does, it actually make your mind to become active, and your mind to be creative in approach, whereby you start to think out of the box as well as you're doing things, because a puzzle makes you to think, and your mind then becomes active. When your mind becomes active in thinking, your mind therefore then becomes more powerful in approach, in the sense that every time you are put at a corner, you are able to think around that. Remember that there are situations that you need to think around them. Some you need to think on how to go under them. Sometimes you really need to think on how to go over them, because there are different directions that you can actually go around situations. And there are many people that says there are many tricks on how to skin a cat. But the point here is that every single situation that you're facing, there are many ways how to solve problems. And the problem is that we haven't actually exposed our minds to creative thinking. And I want to urge you today that you start to learn to put your mind into creative thinking. And I've said that puzzles could be that, playing games, for instance, and also some exercises, for instance, are very key in making your mind to think creatively. And I always encourage people as well to drink enough water, and also to sleep enough. And those are type of ways as well to make sure that you expose your mind to creative thinking. And as your mind be exposed to creative thinking, you become strong-minded, and you become mentally strong. And therefore, you are able actually to approach the situations in a different way when you are faced with them. And I want to urge you to start to learn to become creative in nature in everything that you do, because that will actually bring things more different to you. The other thing is you need to regularly reflect on your progress to reinforce positive behavior. Now, when you are doing things in life and you don't check on the progress, you basically make yourself to feel like you're not progressive at all. But when you are doing something and you keep on reflecting and look at how far you are, what that does, it actually helps your mind to become even more progressive. Because you're seeing the progress, you reinforce the positive behavior to say, at least I'm doing something that is leading me towards progress. Because if you don't check and reflect, you may think that you are static and stagnant in one place. And therefore, you may actually give up at some stage because you feel like there's no progress that you're making. But we want to say regularly reflect, regularly look at your progress, regularly check on how far are you going with what you're doing, regularly check on the progress that you're making in everything that you do, whether it's a project, whether it's studies, whether it's just your life at large. Check on the progress that you make. Because many times we give up because we don't see the progress. And some of the people start actually comparing themselves with others because they are monitoring the progress of others. And you're not able to monitor your own progress. Therefore, you give up along the way. And that is why you find young men that even decide that they want to commit suicide because they feel like their peers have done much more than they do. And the point here is not because they've done much more. It's because you're monitoring them more than reflecting at your own progress. That will show you that you progressed as well. And we want to say, to become mentally strong as a young man, please also regularly make sure that you reflect on your own progress to reinforce the positive behavior that you do, so that you continue doing the right things that are bringing you towards progress. That you may know that when I do this, I can see the progress. So you will continue doing that. And that's what we mean about reinforcing the progress by reflecting at the progress that you do. And this is very important that you do that. And I believe that you've learned quite a bit today. I want to end up here today. Your host, MIcornus Phokane. I'm the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. Remember, on this platform, we are developing ordinary young men into extraordinary men of wisdom, integrity, and character. And we are doing this through kingdom principles. And I hope that you're learning out of this and you're becoming a better person every day. Before we check out today, I want you to remember that we are having social media platforms, my Facebook page, MIcornus Phokane, and the platform where we are right now, Young Men Empowerment Forum. Remember, that is the Facebook page. So I want you to like it. We want you to follow us on this platform. Don't forget our Instagram. Don't forget our TikTok account as well. It's under MIcornus Phokane. So follow us there and make sure that you don't miss every video that we post by clicking the notification button. Don't forget our YouTube channel is under Young Men Empowerment Forum. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. So please follow us on the video platform, because we are having a lot of products that we've put in there that will help you over the years. And we believe strongly that you will learn out of them. And we want to urge you as well to make sure that you share these platforms with your loved ones, your family, your friends, your colleagues at work as well. They may need to learn from this. And I believe strongly that it will make a difference in their lives as you share with them as well. Make sure that you share these platforms with them, and the good Lord will bless you. And we want to check out right now, and until we meet again with part 5 of this great topic, may the good Lord bless you and allow us to check out and say cheers for now.